Hey, what is up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. And I can't bike race myself, still recovering. So what's the next best thing? I'm going to talk about bike racing with my buddy, Ray. Welcome back, Ray.
Thank you. Hello there.
Ray, you've been on camera before. I think in a couple of videos, Ray's been in front of the camera, but I have him to thank for being usually behind the camera in a lot of the recent, really nicely produced stuff that we've done. I'm really proud to say that Ray was behind there. So thank you, Ray.
Thank you.
And Ray's a bike racer.
Aspiring.
That's what we're talking about today. We are talking about the Early Bird training series of races. And why don't you tell them what's the Early Bird training series?
Yeah, so the Early Birds are a couple of races that happen in January before the season really starts. They're focused on teaching people how to race a crit. So they'll have clinics before the races, which give you all the handling skills, not handling skills, but they'll basically teach you the basics of crit racing. And then right after they have a practice race, which is an actual race, but there's no prizes or anything like that. So they tend to be pretty eventful, I'd say.
But that's what this is, right? This is the Cat 4-5 practice race at the Early Birds. Shout out to Larry if you're watching. That's Larry Nolan. Among being a million other things, he is a great influence on this sport. And by the way, he started Early Birds, and that's where I got my start in this sport a few years ago. I don't want to age myself.
We have to
13 years ago.
If there are any pictures of that, I think we need to see those.
Oh God. I think I've scoured the internet for those and just destroyed all those. No, I have photos of those. I'll share them if I can find them. They'll be on the screen right now. But this is the Early Bird. It's a square crit because Larry, in his infinite wisdom, he's like, let's set aside all of the course features that are going to influence how racers develop, because let's just get it the most simple four-corner crit possible. We can focus on the dynamics of drafting, which is important on a windy day like this. We'll get into it in a second. And talk about how to sharpen your skills as a bike racer. So with that said, let's get into some bike racing through the lens of this is a Cat 4-5 race. Ray is not new to bike riding, but new to bike racing. So let's see how this goes. It's going to be pretty exciting. Okay, but first, a quick message from the sponsor of this video, and that's Omaze. So what is Omaze? Omaze is a company that gives away pretty amazing experiences and prizes, which we'll get to in a second. And all the while, they make donations to charities across the world. What this does is this allows the nonprofits to not have to worry about where their money is coming from. Instead, they can focus on what's the best way to spend that money, and they can really serve the needs of their communities. So in this case, Ray, tell us what we could potentially win. What's the prize?
Yeah, so in this case, your donation can give you a chance to win an Airstream Interstate 24X.
Ooh, Airstream.
Yeah, which if you've ever wanted to live the van life and get off the grid, go take your bikes and ride them anywhere and everywhere and not pay a super expensive amount of rent in the Bay Area, this is your chance.
And good luck buying one. Like my neighbor bought one, but I think he was on a wait list for like 6 months.
Yeah.
So pretty tough right now. These things are bougie. So jump on it right now, guys. Follow the link I'm going to put on the screen right now. And with that said, Ray, should we talk about some bike racing?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, right off the bat, Ray, do you have any teammates in this race?
No official teammates, but I do have a couple of friends, which we had a bro agreement before the race, which was basically like if any of us were in the break, we wouldn't chase each other. But aside from that, no, not really.
Okay. And how's your fitness this time of year? It is like mid-January when this was recorded.
It's pretty horrible right now. I pretty much took almost the second half of the year off last year, and then it wasn't really until late December that I realized I wanted to race. So this is pretty much me at peak couch fitness.
Okay. Couch to crit. We're at couch. We're at step one.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is fine. It's January. But you're going to see a lot of people with varying abilities, varying fitness levels, and this is going to be a very Cat 4-5 race, which can be particularly dangerous. So let's see how you navigate the pack, and let's see if you can pull down a win. And with that said, let's just dive into the last lap and a half of this race, because I think that's when stuff really goes down here. And Ray, tell me about your position, because I am not in love with your position with about a lap and a quarter to go.
Yeah, so I pretty much fell really far back, a lot further back than what I wanted to. And then it started to kind of bunch up. So, yeah, I was definitely way further back than what I wanted to be for one lap to go.
So time to move up. And let's see how you manage that. I see you're up a little bit of power here coming out of that corner, which is to be expected. But everyone starts coasting and freewheeling. And I've said this before. Look at you. 240 watts, well, maybe a little bit more now. But the point is you weren't up at 1,000 watts. You take a great inside line there, and I'm going to hit pause right there. I'm going to hit pause right there at about 900 meters to go, because I know people are going to be like, don't dive corners. Ray, you dove that corner. The truth is, here's how I approach these thoughts when people scream at you for diving a corner or give you crap for it. Imagine that you're invisible and you just did that again. Let's replay it. If you're invisible and you took that corner again, would it have changed anybody's line choice? Would it have made anybody touch brakes or deviate or anything? And the answer in this case is no. So you just took a good line, and the haters who are going to say you dove, that's not a dive. A dive is when you like intentionally cut somebody off and it's dangerous. But now look, 800 meters to go, you are like on the front. You've actually maybe done too good a job because you don't want to be on the front. And I don't know, man, with the wind direction, I don't know why everybody's just riding down the middle of the road. Maybe we'll talk about that in a little bit, but I do like the fact that these two other riders jumped in front of you. Now your position's looking great. I wouldn't let any more riders pass you. Are you? What's going through your head right now?
Yeah, no, exactly that, which is, when I got to the front, I was a little worried that I was at the front a little too early. So I kind of didn't want to do any work. I wanted to wait for people to attack and I guess give me like a lead out, which these guys were pretty much that.
I like your patience here too. Let that guy chase it down instead. Oh, but you go left instead of right.
Yeah.
Always be thinking about the wind. And if you're going to take the front into this last corner, which is great, you got to be like sprinting. Like this is a sprint, a coast, and a sprint. And the reason is you don't get swooped like Homeboy just did on your inside.
Yeah.
These are lapped riders on your right. Don't worry about them. Head down. I can tell that January Couch Fitness is catching up with you. And you get squeezed by one more at the line. But truth is, your buddy Dante, who was your unofficial teammate, was up the road the whole time anyway, right?
Yeah, exactly. Dante and I think 4 others were up the road. They had finished the race already. Yeah, at that point, I pretty much thought that the field was not going to be super strong, but I totally forgot about Sean Garcia, which is another good friend of ours. But he actually does have really good fitness.
Oh,
so
epic Cat 5 salute right there on the right. I don't know if you guys caught that. But yeah, it was a great line by your buddy here. Good tap on the back.
Yeah.
But I want to take that one more time. I want to break this down. I think there's 3 moments that I chose. I want to break those down one more time really fast. And just to help you guys who are watching this, who might be new to the sport, or even if you're not new to the sport, to be honest, I want to talk about the things that really stood out to me on areas for improvement, if that's all right with you, Ray.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
Let's do it. Okay, so first and foremost, you moved up on the inside beautifully here. We've already talked about that. I think that's really important. But I think this is mistake number 1 that you made, is right here in this position. You don't want to be on the front with 800 meters to go. Being too far forward is just as bad as being too far back. So here, we have to be mindful of the wind. You want to be on the right of these riders. And you did like 800 watts. I think that was bigger than your sprint.
Yeah, it was.
That's a result of being out of position, is you had to basically attack from the front to get back on terms.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Mistake number 2 isn't even for you. It's for this guy in front of you. Guys, come on. Take your saddlebag off. We're better than this. Come on. It's like a 1 kilometer loop. Just leave it at the start finish. Everyone's got saddlebags. What's going on? I'm losing my mind. Okay. So I'll compliment you right here at 350 meters to go. You keep it in your pants, Ray. I know a lot of people in this position, they start thinking like, oh, I'm going to lose. This guy's getting away from us. And there's still like 25 seconds, 30 seconds of racing left. That's a long time, especially when a sprint is, 12 seconds?
Yeah.
So you allow this rider in front of you to panic instead of you. This shows patience, and it shows something that I don't see often in Cat 4-5 races. So good on you for that. And then once we start moving here again, you guys need to be mindful of the wind. So right here, we don't pass on the left when it's a left to right wind. This is a strong left to right wind. Ray, I want you all the way on that right side gutter.
Yeah.
Couple of reasons. Let's break this down. Number 1, you are not offering a draft to anybody behind you because you are all the way in that gutter and there's no draft available. So sure, if you're doing 400 to maintain your position on the front or near the front, then that sucks, but that sucks for everybody equally when you're in the gutter. And then the second benefit is you don't have to be looking over your right-hand shoulder to be worried about a passing rider because there's nothing there. It's just curb and sidewalk. And I learned a thing or two about a curb a few days ago.
Oh, God.
So people don't want to pass in the curb. It's a dangerous spot. So you only have to be looking over your left-hand shoulder. And then as we move forward here, imagine you're on the far right-hand side. Now, before you get to this corner, you are making an aggressive line that's going to cut the apex of that final corner. So you're going to go curb to curb to curb is what we call it in bike racing. I want you all the way to the far, this is a left-hand corner, so I want you all the way on the far right-hand side, almost against the curb. And then as you hit the apex of this corner, I want you all the way by those little yellow dots, like as close to the inside as possible, protecting the inside so Sean cannot one-up you and give you shit next time you guys hang out and have a beer and be like, dude,
Yeah.
I totally bossed you in that last corner. You should have
totally
protected that. And then it's not over yet. Curb to curb to curb. What's the final curb? Well, that's the outside line. So you intentionally take a wide outside line, just like Sean did. If we pause it here, you can see that Sean, he could have gone even a little bit wider. He did a pretty good job, though. If we look at this, 124 meters to go. Can you pass him on his right?
Oh, no. Absolutely not.
No. Can anybody have passed him on his left?
Yeah, but I mean, you'd have to.
Before that apex of that corner, there's no passing him.
No.
So he swept the whole length of the road, and he took that corner excellent. That was a P12 corner. If you're listening to this, Sean, good on you, man. There's no passing him. And now let's think about the rest of this sprint. As we play it out, there's 100 meters to go.
Yeah.
So you could be running on fumes, and you're still probably going to win. If not, you're certainly standing on the box. That's why I always say sprint for the last corner. So, Ray, you did a lot of things good here, but the final corner was not one of them, I'm sorry to say.
Yeah, I agree.
And then you kind of get swooped at the line. But whatever, it was for like 8th or something like that. And how'd your boy Dante do?
I think he got 4th or 3rd in the break. From what I remember, he did really well. But yeah, I mean, for me in that sprint, I was definitely, made a lot of mistakes. But I also was fairly surprised to have even been up there in that position, just because I didn't expect to move up that well. So I was kind of already in like a surprise to be over here, and then to have to be in a sprint, it's not what I expected, which is, why I wasn't able to do that much power, I think.
If you would have taken that corner better, even though you had January fitness going on, if you just would have taken that corner better, you probably would have won.
Yeah, I mean,
it didn't even come down to fitness. It was just came down to like how you allowed that your buddy Sean to swoop.
Yeah, and another note that a mistake that I made, which is so ironic because this was only a few weeks after we filmed a video on this, but I sprinted from the hoods.
Oh, I forgot even to mention that. Tisk. I felt guilty enough for bashing you on your last corner, but
oh man, no.
Don't sprint from the hoods, boys.
Yeah, I even thought about that during the sprint. That was the only thing going through my mind. I was like, oh shit.
Jeff's gonna hate me for this.
Yeah.
Well, man, it was good having you on. I think you have a couple more of these recorded, so I'm excited to talk about some more of these to see if you can improve upon this week. And that's the whole point, guys. We get better. And speaking of getting better, I'm going to be doing that physically while watching races with Ray. So stay tuned, guys. Ray, good having you on.
Thank you so much.
Catch you guys in the next one.